Welcome back to yet another EV. Well, I've made half you click off this video already, but for those of you who stayed, this is the Kia EV6 GT from 2023, yours for 80 points as a series award for the Modern Horizon series. Yes, another electric vehicle. I don't know why we have so many. This thing's got 577 brake horsepower and 545 foot-pounds of torque, while weighing a whopping 4,795 pounds. This thing is very, very hefty indeed, with a front percentage of 49%. So a near 50-50 weight distribution, which is kind of honestly alarming. But looking at this thing, it's, well, I don't know what to say. I like the front of it. The front of it does look good. I don't know what's going on at the back. And going to the inside, well, firstly, those are some really weird shaped wing mirrors. I assume it's aerodynamics or something. But going over here, we've got ourselves just a bunch of screens and a solitary hazard lights button. Right, let's go ahead and take a listen to the kettle, shall we? So here we're now at the upgrade shop. The first thing we're doing is jumping straight to motor and battery. So starting off, we've got ourselves the base of 577 brake horsepower. We got to 634, 692, and finally 750. Is that it? So going over to aero and appearance on the front bumper, we of course do actually have ourselves the Adro body kit for this thing, which is hopefully something that'll save it. We also have ourselves the Forza wing, which is mildly devastating, to be honest. Going to the back, we've got ourselves the Adro kit once more, which I think actually kind of does make this thing look relatively okay. And we've got Adro for the side as well, or ADRO, however you meant to say it, I don't know. It does make this thing look arguably a bit more aggressive. Going to platform and handling, this thing starts out on stock brakes and we can take it up to race. So actually this thing starts out on what I think is actually street. So going to race weight reduction, we can take this thing to 3,600 and something pounds. But for now, I'm going to try and build this thing up to be a little bit of an A-class racer. How well it'll do is honestly, I don't even know. So with a bit of fiddling around and moving things here and there, we are now sat at 4,571 pounds with 577 brake horsepower, all for 35,750 credits. And now let's go to the paint. By the way, I should point out that at the moment the UK is moderately warm, so I'm casually just melting trying to record this video, so if there's any stutters or anything, blame the weather. So going over to the paint shop, we've got ourselves nothing in advanced. Going to manufacturer colours, we've got ourselves a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colours for this thing. And I've got to say, the blue does look pretty good indeed, especially with that body kit. But the white kind of just, I don't know, it's something about it. Also, why does the front remind me strangely of a Volkswagen Golf? So this is the Kia EV6 GT. Now, a fun fact about this is at the time of construction, Kia said that they engineered it to compete with supercars such as the Ferrari Roma and the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider. Yeah, something tells me that's not going to happen. In the meantime, I got to see one of these while I was on holiday earlier this year, and I've got to say, in person, the front of them does look nice. The back, not so much. I think that needs a redesign. And away we go. Now we're up against a lot of things that have actual engines, so I'm not expecting us to fare very well, especially in this of all things. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. Going into the first turn right here, we've got some relatively decent brakes and just about enough handling to make it round the turn. But hopefully, actually no, can we try and see if we can overtake that Jeep? There we go, go up. Or is that a Dodge? Jeep? Dodge? I don't know, they look too similar. Come on, 154. We've been clouted by a Mini, but somehow we've made our way past. I don't know how. Please turn. Okay, up to the turn that I quite enjoy. I love this one just because it's a lot of fun to sling cars around. We've actually got ourselves up into third. Make that up into second place. Go off the bridge. Oh, they didn't go off the bridge. Oh well. Now, if you want to buy one of these in the UK, you can go ahead and do so for a whopping £62,000, which is honestly an abhorrent amount of money for this thing. But yeah, it's a bit much in it. If you're interested in how much that is USD, because I usually do the conversions, here it is hopefully up on screen at the moment. Now the thing that I find mildly disturbing about this car is the fact that it actually kind of turns, which is really concerning considering there's no error on this aside from the body kit, which doesn't even really affect this thing. And this is just in A-class. There's an ability to take this thing well up into S1, so I don't know what to say apart from the fact that it might actually be a contender to be an S1 EV race build. And that terrifies me. Mostly because, as we all know, I'm not a massive fan of electric vehicles, but also being passed by this, no, please. Now another fun thing I've noticed is in the middle of the screen in front of us, it's got lane assist, but I don't think that's going to help. We're in the middle of a racetrack. And I never thought I'd say this, but there is a massive gap between us and literally everybody else, and we've crossed the line with the first place in a time of 2 minutes 49. Oh dear. So here we are now back in the upgrade shop, and the first thing I'm doing is going straight to motor and battery, and we're going to take this thing all the way up into S1 with 750 brake. I really wish there was an option to throw the remote motor in this, because I think that would just be dumb power, and, well, dumb cars are funny. Let's go ahead and add ourselves some drag slicks to this thing. There we go. And I think we just need to make the front ones a little wider. Now, a lot of you might be wondering where the Mac tunes are, but the time of recording is not currently online for the season, so that means I'm having to build this thing. Off-road springs and dampers? Yeah, go on then. Now, is it lighter without the body kit? Yes, it is. Okay, that's going to have to go back to stock then. So with all that, we're now at £3,660, or give or take by like 1. We've also got ourselves 750 brake horsepower. We're just inside S1 with only 20,100 credits spent. And now I've got to go and tune this thing. Thankfully, we've got the option to go ahead and tune the singular gear this car has. So I'm going to try and see if we can find a little bit of a nice balance, and just hope that it works. So here we are now over at the back of the Horizons Festival for a little bit of a wheelie check. I don't think we're going to get anything. Yeah, barely anything at all. So let's go ahead and make our way over to the drag strip and see what else it does there, if it does anything. I really hope it does something. Man, I wish I had that many credits. Right, let's go ahead and get ourselves onto some good old launch control if it ever goes back down the rev range. My god, come on. There we go. Hopefully, there we go, back on launch control, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of this thing, if we actually get anything, because I doubt that we'll really get much, but, well, I've got to hold out some hope for this. I don't know what else to call it, really. We've got 159 dead through the camera, and then off the end of the runway, I've got ourselves rather a whopping 180 something. That is devastating. But I mean, hey, at least the brakes work this time. So the next thing we've got to go and do is go ahead and make this thing road ready. So we'll go ahead and actually swap back to our semi-slicks. They're, kind of our good old faithful at this point. We'll jump back to platform and handling. We'll also go ahead and throw this thing back onto some race springs and dampers. And then I think that's about the only changes we had to do. Oh, and then there's the tuning of the tyres and the gearing. Might have forgotten about that. But the one thing I've not forgotten about is this week's Forzathon shop, and what a shop it is indeed. We have got ourselves the cover car of Horizon 5, the Mercedes AMG 1. We've got the white Trailblazer finished t-shirt. We've got the nature car horn, which sounds a bit like this. The wonderful chaotic sounds of the outside. It's an interesting place. We've got ourselves the Hennessy Velociraptor 6x6. Really not good with dinosaur names, apparently. We've got the What's Inside emote, the Horizon Super Wheelspin, and the regular old Horizon Wheelspin 2. And now, out to the motorway. Okay, this time I think we might load in here. And we've loaded in miles away from where we need to be. Hold on. And parked. There we go. Right, let's go ahead and get ourselves on launch control. And away we go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's see what we can get out of this thing. I'm really hoping we actually get something. After all, this thing weighs about as much as your next nearest warehouse, and it has 750 brake horsepower. So, all in all, I guess not too good of a power to weight ratio for this thing. But, I've got to hold out some hope. Also, another fun fact is, as far as I'm aware, this is the only Kia in Forza Horizon 5. And out of the speed zone at 210, somehow we've kept above 200 in this thing, which is honestly kind of impressive. And now we've got the downhill and speed camera to go, so let's go ahead and see what we get there. I'm going to hazard a guess at maybe 225. And through the camera at 223, my guess was way off. Going downhill, 226, 227, 228. Do we get 229? We do. Any more than that? Nope, just 229 out of this, but if you can get this thing to go faster, go ahead and let me know in the comments. In the meantime, there's one more thing left to do, and that is to take this thing sideways. So let's go ahead, throw this thing to the drift zone, and honestly, I hope for the best, because at the moment, we've not got off to a good start. Yeah, I think it might be time for a take 2 at that. Okay, tyre pressures to the moon. Okay, changes have been made. Let's go ahead and see what we do this time. Throwing this thing back in once more. I'm aiming for at least a good run. Alright, let's just keep going. I'm not tweaking this thing any further. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can at least get it across the line at 26,170 points. That is really disappointing. That was a real mess of words. Okay, some tweaking later. We've got one more run to do. Can we beat 26,170? Well, I guess we're about to find out. We're going to go ahead and send this thing in here. Maybe I sent it a little too early. Come on, let's get through this. Get through this out the other side at 30,932. An improvement, but not much. So that is this video on the Kia EV6. Is it worth it? Honestly, for once, I think I'd say no. It's cool to have a little bit of a, I guess, collector's car, or to try and mess around with an A-Class, because, well, that's the only place where it actually did good this video. But other than that, I'd say just save your time, go and get something else. Made it out of there just in time. That is the Horizon Arcade Blimp. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And as always, thank you for watching. Tech out. See ya. Forza, we don't need more EVs. Please stop.